Hello. It gives me great pleasure to present the full year 2023 results for the Mpac Group. 2023 was a record year for new orders, with the group booking £119 million of order intake, 40% up on the prior year. The group broke through the £100 million revenue mark, delivering £114 million of revenue in the year, 17% up on the prior year. And that took profit before tax to £7.1 million, more than double the profit delivered in the prior year. Cash inflow from operations was strong at £11 million, taking the group into a net cash positive position by the half year and maintaining that through to a year-end cash exceeding £2 million. The year also saw a ramp up in skilled technical resource as we brought people into the group to deliver the increase in revenue. We also strengthened the leadership team with a number of key appointments in each of our businesses, putting us into a strong position for future growth. In summary, a strong year for the group, positioning Mpac for growth. And earlier today, I was joined by Tammy Bristow to go through a brief Q&A.
Adam, 2023 has been a record year for Mpac. What has driven such a strong order intake?
Well, it's all about customers. In the first half of 2023, we celebrated 15 to 20% of our business coming from new customers. But that's accelerated through the year. And actually for the year as a whole, 35% of our order intake has come from new customers. Now, I'm really excited that many of those new customers included some with considerable scale. So they've got the scale to be able to place orders with us, not just in 23, but year after year after year in the future as they expand their factories and repurpose lines. So, that's really encouraging for us. Now, I can't give you the names of those customers today. For many of our customers, those capital expansion plans are confidential to them, and we, of course, respect that. So I'm not going to be announcing lots of names, but these are household names, they're blue-chip clients, and we're very proud to have Mpac associated with them. That's particularly important for our existing customers too, because our existing customers depend on Mpac to be able to provide expertise year after year after year. Retaining engineers is easier when engineers are happy, highly utilised and stretched on exciting new projects. So it's good for our new customers, it's good for Mpac, and it's very good for our existing customers too. That's the first part. The second part is the service business. The service business has been a focus for us for many, many years now. We've been aiming to get to 30% of group revenue coming from services. And for the first time, the group achieved that this year. It's a measure that we're very pleased with. It obviously holds well for order intake for 2023, but really importantly, when you think about what that means for retaining customers, those customers we're providing service support to tend to come back to Mpac for new lines in the future.
You spoke then about your service revenue and the considerable growth that has made this year. How have you made that happen?
Well, I think the first thing is all about people. It's the way that our people respond to customers. In 2023, we put a significant investment into expanding our customer service team, particularly in the Americas, where we've more than doubled the number of field service engineers within the year, but also around the world. We've recruited some fantastic leaders into that service business as well, and that makes a really big difference. Why does it make a difference? Well, I think that comes down to, let me give you an example. I visited a customer towards the end of 2022, and that customer was experiencing some issues on their line. The problems were not just isolated to Mpac equipment, the problems were up and down the line. The way that the Mpac team responded to that, we didn't just go in and fix the issues with our equipment. We fixed the issues across the whole line. We worked collaboratively with other organisations and with the customer. And the experience that customer took away from the way that we responded was absolutely fantastic. The result of that is that not only is that line working really, really well, the customers placed orders with us for additional lines in the same facility during 2023. And just a few weeks ago, I met with the global lead for that business, and we discussed how Mpac's positioned, and we've now been selected as a preferred supplier globally for other facilities elsewhere of a similar nature for that customer. So it can have a really big impact very, very quickly. It's essential when it comes to retaining customers. So that's the key. It's a basic focus on the things that we do, and they're very variable. It's a wide kind of value stream for us. It's not just about responding to field service requests. It's also the provision of spare parts, which the rapid response for which is absolutely critical for our customers. We work on installation and commissioning work, modifications and upgrades. We provide rental programs for our customers, a whole wide variety of activities. And all of that has to come together. When we do the basics right, it really matters.
Your operating margins have improved in 2023 and are normalising. Can you see that continuing in the future years?
Yes. In short, yes. We have to go back a little bit to look at what caused this need for normalisation. In 2022, we and many other companies around the world were struggling with the shortage of semiconductor components, chips, used by our suppliers to put together sub-assemblies for our equipment. And it meant that we had a backlog of projects that were on order for customers and we couldn't complete and deliver. That impacted our business in 2022. But it also continued to impact our business into 2023, not because we had a problem with chip supply at that point. In fact, we'd resolved those issues during the back end of 2022. But we still had this backlog of projects to deliver that had been impacted by that issue the prior year. So the start of 2023 was still impacted by these projects we needed to close out and deliver to customers. By the half year, we'd made considerable progress with that. And so in the second half of 2023, we saw a really good performance. And that normalisation of margins, that's what we mean when we talk about it. Now that progress will continue into 2024 and beyond, but for a different reason. As we've grown, we are starting to see an improvement in our margins as a result. And that starts really with kind of thinking about the way that Mpac is structured today. We're a £100 million business, and we win orders that are £1, £2, £3, £4 million a time. That's a fairly lumpy order intake, for an organisation of our size. And it's the nature of the business that we're in. The only way to deal with that lumpiness is to grow scale. If we can continue to win orders of the same kind of size, but we're a £200 million a year business, for example, that lumpiness gets easier to manage. And why is that important? Well, it's important because it affects the utilisation of people in our factories, of engineers in the design phase, and all of that contributes to an improving gross margin as we're more efficient in the future. So lots of opportunity for us still ahead.
Can we talk about the work that you're doing in the clean energy sector? How is the project with the Freya CQP coming along, and what does that mean for Mpac as you enter this exciting new market?
Well, I think the first thing to say is that we're doing really well. The work that we're doing at the customer qualification plant with Freya in Norway, it's really, really hard. We've been finding and solving problems every single day. None of those problems are fundamental technology issues, but there's a lot to do. And the progress has been really encouraging. I think probably most encouraging for me is the way the partnership is working together. So, the Mpac team, the Freya team, the 24M team, and our other partners on this project are working so closely together in Norway. And that is why I believe we will make the progress that we've made so far, and will continue to progress with the commissioning. We are really excited about where that will lead. We are looking forward to Freya expanding with plans for giga factories in the US and beyond. And we look forward to being part of that program in the future. But 2023 was an exciting year for us in other aspects of clean energy too. We entered the Faraday Challenge here in the UK together with the UK BIC. It's a completely different kind of clean energy program on solid state batteries. And our role in that, the Mpac piece of that, is around scaling up the automation and the production processes for that project as well. So really exciting times, lots to look forward to.
So working capital has reduced in 2023 and you've got a really strong operating cash flow. Can you see that continuing into 2024?
Yes. The progress we made in 2023 was absolutely fantastic on working capital. We saw a really, really strong unwind of working capital from the highs that we took into the start of the year. That's been impacted by the build-up of working capital in the prior year, as those semiconductor chip issues that we talked about earlier caused a build-up of WIP, and we saw that in the numbers at the back end of 2022. 2023 was about unwinding that. We'd made really good progress by the middle of the year, so our interim results showed it, and we sustained it through the second half as well. So I'm really pleased with the progress. The next step, though, is all about lead time. So for us, the next improvement in working capital comes with bringing those lead times down on our projects. They are long at the moment because of the way our supply chains have addressed the semiconductor chip shortages. We're now absolutely sure when we're going to get parts supplied to us, but the lead times are longer today. And as we bring those lead times in, we're going to see further improvement in working capital in 2024 and beyond.
So off the back of a fantastic 2023, What's the wider outlook for Mpac?
The group strategy is very, very clear. Our long-term strategy is to deliver 10% return on sales and 10% annual growth in our revenues. That's our long-term goal. Actually, if I come back to our shorter-term objective, I think about what we're doing in 2024. We see a path to double the profit of the business over the next 3 years. And a step towards that in 2024 is really exciting for us to make. So that's where we're going.
So, Adam, you have just completed your first full year with Mpac. What are your reflections so far?
It's the people. I've been asked a number of times what sets Mpac apart from our competitors. Why do our customers choose to work with us? Why do they keep coming back? And absolutely, it's about the people. I think Mpac is Mpac people.
Thank you, Adam. It's been lovely to talk to you today.